I dropped Black Clover after 51 episodes because it was clear to me that not only did Black Clover fail in almost all aspects of what makes a battle shonen good, but that Black Clover also would never turn good. That, however, is not why I am making this video. No, I am making this video because in the weeks since I dropped Black Clover, I saw a lot of talk why it was supposedly good, while barely seeing anyone talk about why it was bad. So that's why I decided that I had to make a video explaining why Black Clover is bad. But before getting into that, first some obvious disclaimers. This video contains spoilers. If you want to get my opinion about Black Clover without spoilers, go read my myanimelist review. If you have watched Black Clover or don't care about spoilers, then you can watch this video. This video is about the first 51 episodes of the anime, not the manga or anything that happens later in the anime. Let's start with the protagonist Esta. He is a very simple character. He yells a lot and never gives up, and he can't use magic. He also supposedly works hard, but not in any meaningful way. What do I mean by that? Well, none of the powers he gets are in any way related to his hard work, which is mostly comprised of working out. The powers Asta gets, however, are not in any way related to his workout. In the beginning, he gets a grimoire with the special 5-leaf clover, which gives him an anti-magic sword. Why does he get this? Never explained, so we must assume that it's a coincidence and not related to Asta's hard work or drive to never give up. Despite this, most villains continue to underestimate Asta because he has no magic, even though he has an OP sword. At one point in a dungeon, he also gets another special sword. There's no good reason that dungeon would give him that sword. He just gets it because it's convenient for the plot. Asta also learns Ki. He does this in a single fight after Captain Yami tells him it exists. He just does it. No training required. Then there is the demon power Asta gets from his special 5-leaf grimoire. He gets this for no good reason in his fight against Veto, and it doesn't do anything in that fight. Why does this power even exist? Sure, some of you might say that it does something later on in the story, but even assuming that it will then somehow be properly executed, that still isn't a reason why Asta should have gotten this power in his fight against Veto. None of these powers are in any way related to Asta working hard, so why does he even bother to work hard? The answer is, of course, that he is supposed to be a power fantasy that says that no matter who you are, if you work hard and never give up, you will succeed. I don't think this is a bad form of power fantasy, even though it's not necessarily true. It might, if done well, inspire some people to try harder to achieve their goals. The problem is that this only works if it's executed properly, which is not the case in Black Clover, because Asta's power-ups are unrelated to his hard work becomes meaningless, and if his hard work is meaningless, then he can't send the message that hard work is what gets you to your goals. Compare this to Deku from My Hero Academia. Deku doesn't receive the one for all quirk from All Might because of pure coincidence. He gets it because he has the right aptitude for being a hero. He then has to work hard to be able to receive it and then continually trains to master it. Deku's hard work leads to him getting stronger, which is why the message of working hard does work in Hero Aka. But Black Clover is more than its protagonist. What about the other characters? Well, they're no better off than Asta. The rest of Asta's Magic Knight squad, the Black Pearls, is filled with one-note characters that are entirely defined by a single gimmick. But maybe Black Clover creates interesting conflicts by creating interesting villains whose motivations and actions make the protagonist waver in their beliefs. Take Veto for example. As of right now, he is the strongest villain that has been defeated, and the fight against him took a massive 6 episodes. A villain like him is bound to have something interesting going for him, right? Of course not. This is Black Clover. Vetto screams a lot about how he will make his enemies despair and he is really strong. That is his character. At no point does he ever come close to breaking any of the Black Bull's will, because they all think of Asta and his drive to never give up. Vetto tries to make Asta despair, but Asta never gives up, so it doesn't work. The conclusion of this fight is quite meaningless. After the Black Bulls realize that none of them are strong enough to beat Vetto in a one-on-one, they team up and still lose. So maybe it tries to say that teamwork and the power of friendship are not always going to be enough to win? Well, not quite. After the Black Bulls lose, Captain Yami shows up and beats Vetto with ease and then compliments his magic Night Squad on a job done well. So does this mean that teamwork and the power of friendship are worked well? It didn't accomplish anything in this fight, but according to Yami, who won the fight, it was good. What are we supposed to take away from this fight? This means that basically the only reason that this fight lasted as long as it did was so that it could show all of the powers of all of the Black Bulls. But why was this necessary? None of them accomplished anything, with the exception of Yami, of course. Besides, we just had a fight with the priest in the Wonderwonder Temple. The Black Bulls got the chance to show off their powers in those fights. And it's not like the Black Bulls have enough going on to make you invested in their struggle against Vetto. So the whole 6-episode fight is just kinda a meaningless slog to get through. Of course, Vetto is not some random evil strong guy. He's a member of the Eye of the Midnight Sun. So what are the motives of this organization? Well, they are collecting magic stones that will somehow help them destroy the Clover Kingdom. Why does the Eye of the Midnight Sun want to destroy the Clover Kingdom? Not yet fully explained, but it seems some sort of revenge, which means that as of now, this huge group of villains that have been the antagonists of most of the arcs have nothing interesting going on. The story is also nothing special. It can't be, because an interesting story requires interesting characters. Black Clover doesn't have interesting characters and therefore can't have an interesting story. Of course, Black Clover is a battle shonen, and it has a lot of fights. If the fights are good, then Black Clover would have become worthwhile just for the fights. So what makes a good fight? Well, there are 4 things that contribute in making a fight good. The first of these is an interesting ideological conflict between the characters. As I showed earlier, Black Clover doesn't have this. The second is tension. If there is a chance that one of the supporting characters might be killed or one of the main characters gets seriously injured or lose, that creates tension and makes us want to see the conclusion of the fight. Black Clover ruined all the tension its fights could possibly have during episode 9 when Noel suddenly learns a new spell to protect some villagers. There is no good reason why Noel would learn that specific spell at that specific moment other than that was convenient for the plot. They try to handwave it in the next episode by claiming that when someone's perspective changes or their resolve hardens, they can learn a new spell, but because only the protagonist learn new spells this way and the antagonist don't, this just serves as an excuse for whenever a Deus Ex Machina is needed. Of course, it was also a horribly handled character moment for Noelle. She was about to run away, but a single girl asking her to save them was enough to completely change her mind and save them instead. There is no good reason why a single girl who she doesn't even know saying one line would be enough for Noelle to completely change what she was about to do, but I digress. From that point forward, it was obvious that whenever an important character would be in danger, they would either learn a new spell or someone would show up at the last moment to save them, thus making it impossible to create tension. The third way a fight can be good is when it's technical. Black Clover can't have technical fights for the same reasons it can't have tension. The last way for a fight to be good is if it looks cool. Unfortunately for Black Clover, the animation is rarely good during fights, and even when it's good, it's only good for at most 20 seconds. This means that Black Clover doesn't have good fights. But while not having a good story, characters or fights is troubling, it does not necessarily mean an anime is bad. Take Inferno Cop for example. Just like Black Clover, it's an action anime that lacks good story, characters or fights and is also incredibly low budget and has the worst animation quality of any anime I've watched. But the events in Inferno Cop are so over the top and ridiculous that it becomes good on a comedic level alone. It might be far removed from masterpiece, but still a perfectly enjoyable anime. But while Black Clover does have some comedy, and some of that comedy is pretty funny, it doesn't make comedy the main focus of the anime, and as such it can never succeed on just being a comedy alone. There is still more that can be said about why Black Clover is bad, but I think I have covered the biggest problems with Black Clover. If you enjoy Black Clover then it's fine, but I hope that you at least understand why I and with me many others think it's bad.